Today is April 23rd, Barstool Rundown. We got four power subjects today. Let's start it with Drake sitting courtside, linting his pants, which became this became so important that I blogged it in the middle of the Bruins game because it just blew my mind. Let's start with you, KFC. What do you got on Drake and the lint rolling courtside?
Drake has just become the biggest dick on the planet, and I feel like he's doing it on purpose now. I mean, there's no way you're not lint rolling your pants sitting courtside knowing that you're going to be on camera for lint rolling your fucking pants. He's just trying too hard. He's one of the most insufferable guys out there right now.
Big Cat?
Does this mean that Drake has a cat? Because I've never lint rolled. Like, I don't know, you put your pants in the wash, you put them in the dryer, you take them out, there's no problem. Like, he has a cat, right? He was getting cat hair off of his pants.
And now the fourth man in, our first four-man rundown ever, Feidelberg.
I think it's awesome. I think there's like that thing online on that like Drake, the type we'll call it brother, to like get his buddy's eyelash off, or Drake's the type of guy to say no offense. Like, Drake's the type of guy to sit courtside and lint roll his pants is the perfect one. He's just like it's kind of a soft move, but it's kind of an awesome move. That's what Drake is. Kind of soft, kind of awesome.
It had to be on purpose. But I don't agree with you, KFC. Like, it's such a preposterous move. I mean, how do you even think of that? How do you even come up with that? That it's awesome. Like, and I don't know what Big Cat's talking about. I have a major lint problem. I always have lint all over me. So, and I don't have a cat. We have products. I'm actually the team hat that I bought. I have it. That has lint all over. I have lint everywhere. A lint roll. My mom used to lint roll me before I went to school.
Where do you get all this lint from?
Never once had lint. I don't think I've ever. I get lint
I
in
only
my
get it on.
and that's it.
Feidelberg, learn the rules here. It's one person talks at a time, or else the whole thing gets like smudgy. You can't hear anything. Story 2, which is why Feidelberg is on the show today. I did have meetings all morning. I come back, I see a blog. Lapido, the black girl from 12 Years a Slave, was named People Magazine's most beautiful woman in the world. Feidelberg destroyed her. Said the girl who pours his coffee at Dunkin' Donuts is prettier than she is. Feidelberg, defend your stance.
I don't have to defend my stance. Put up a picture. She's not the most beautiful woman in the world. I never called her ugly. She's not ugly. But she's not even close to the most beautiful woman in the world.
Big Cat.
The racial undertones on this one are running through the blog, the rundown, just everywhere. So I'm just going to say she's a very nice lady, and I hope everyone wins in the end.
KFC.
I'm with Feidelberg on this one. Hit the nail on the head. It's like winning the most beautiful girl in the world is like a Gold Glove or All-Star voting. She looks like Manu Bowl in a dress. There's no way she's the most beautiful girl in the world.
All outrageous. What? You want to say something, Feidelberg?
Dave said, because, I mean, a bald chick can't be the most beautiful woman in the world. Having long hair is like the essence of being a woman. And Dave said, yeah, but she can grow long hair if she wanted to. Like, I could be in good shape if I wanted to, but you're not going to give me the most ripped man in the world because of the potential I have. I'm fat and ugly. She is not the most beautiful woman in the world. She doesn't have hair.
Okay, that makes no sense. And again, you're violating the rules of this show in which we go around in a circle. But her face is gorgeous. She's stunning. If you don't think her face is stunning, and if you have no hair and your face is still stunning, it shows how beautiful you are. It's outrageous to me. And this has nothing to do with black, white. This girl is just gorgeous. To say the Dunkin' Donuts server or a coffee barista was as pretty as this girl is insane. I'm not saying she's the sexiest girl. That's different. She doesn't have like Scarlett Johansson titties. Doesn't have the best ass. All right, I get that. I'm not saying she's the sexiest. I'm not saying she's the girl who's, I don't know, I want to have sex with the most. That's kind of the same thing. But beautiful. You just look at a girl, like if she's walking down the street versus you one way and you're walking the other, you'd see her and be like, fuck, that girl's stunning. Like she belongs in a museum. That's what she looks like. There's no doubt about it. And anybody who disagrees with that is just a simpleton and a moron and has no appreciation of beauty.
Dan likes to call me Contrarian John because he thinks I disagree with things on purpose. You get the title now. There's no way that she's the most beautiful girl. Like I would if I saw her walking down the street, I would not go chasing after her like you say.
No, you'd notice, and I'm not saying you can argue, but it's certainly not worthy of a blog to be like it's outrageous that she won. Dan, I like how you're raising your hand. Your turn.
I'm raising my hand. I'm going to shoot from the hip because at Barstool, we tell it how it is, and that's how we always go. The bottom line is, John is racist, whether it's conscious or subconscious, and Dave has white guilt, and so he's covering up for it with his blog. That's the bottom line. That's exactly what happened.
Why do you keep bringing up race?
Thrown out.
Wait, I don't have white guilt. You can ask Feilberg how this transpired. When I walked in and saw this blog, I was like, you're a fucking asshole if you don't think she's beautiful. I wasn't even going to write it, but he was so stupid in his, like, she doesn't have hair. Like I don't even know what the fuck that means. That proves my point. Her face is gorgeous.
This game sucks that I can't talk when you're ranting and raving about how stupid I am. Yeah, she's a good-looking girl. I never called her ugly.
She's ugly.
She's a good-looking girl. She's nowhere near the most beautiful woman in the world.
If you say the person who, if you say the person who served your Dunkin' Donuts coffee is prettier than her, then that's being ugly.
Barstool Sports, that happens on occasion.
No. This chick is ugly. She looks like the guy from Captain Phillips. She's gross. This is ridiculous that we're even talking about her being sexy at all, let alone the most beautiful woman in the world. This is insane.
All right, you just went way overboard for page views. That's fine. I respect it. But that comparison is...
That's what you're doing.
You were just screaming to the high heavens about how I'm an asshole.
I'm the only one who made sense, by the way. Everyone will agree.
Oh, you sounded like a commenter. You're like, oh, race baiting. It's got nothing to do with race. If she was a white, bald chick with no boobs, I'd call her not the most beautiful girl in the world, too.
Time out. At one point, who is the chick from Harvard? Portman. She, at one point, was bald and looked unbelievable.
Did she win most beautiful woman in the world?
She probably fucking did. Let's move on. Bills cheerleaders are suing because they don't get paid, and the owner or somebody made them do a jiggle test to see if they had any jiggle because you're a cheerleader. Let's start with... I don't like having three people. Let's start with you, KFC.
This is such a great Buffalo story because, like, only in Buffalo do I feel like there's a bunch of, like, fat chicks trying out to be the Buffalo cheerleaders. They're like the one franchise that you got to worry about having, like, chunky white pasty chicks on the sidelines dancing.
I don't even know if that made a point on this story. Dan, you're up.
When I blogged this, I said that I felt bad for the cheerleaders that they had to, like, go to these golf events and not get paid. But the jiggle test, that's test number one of a cheerleader. Like, if you don't want to have the jiggle test given to you, don't be a fucking cheerleader. Go be, anything else. Work in an office and you won't have the jiggle test. No one wants a fat cheerleader. You're going to get the jiggle test. If you fail, you're gone.
Heidelberg.
I feel like this story happens every year. I think last year was an Oklahoma City Thunder cheerleader. Someone wrote that she looked a little overweight and he got called a sexist and all that. I mean, that's your job. Dan said in his blog, too. That's your job, is to be hot. If we can question Larry Fitzgerald's speed, then we can question a cheerleader's fatness.
Yeah, and you're right. That's the point I was going to make. It's a well-known fact. I've heard this from a million Patriot cheerleaders. They don't get paid. But they know they don't get paid going in. They still take the job. It's the classic intern move. This is an intern move, too. Interns will take an unpaid internship and then, like, sue because they don't get paid, even though they knew that going in. In the jiggle test, we're all on the same page. It's like if you're going to Hooters and suing because they said you needed big tits. Like, yeah, you worked at Hooters. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Last story of the day, this power workout move. I honestly can't tell if I'm getting J-Macked here, whether this is real, but it's an Asian guy, so you can never tell what's going on with those people. Let's start with you, Big Cat, on this workout move.
Well, yeah, I think we're sort of getting trolled, but at the same time, am I the only one who thought, like, maybe that actually kind of works, like, your chest? Like, I have big tits. Like, that actually looked like a move that I should probably start doing.
Heidelberg.
Well, first of all, Dan, that's definitely a shoulder workout. But I mean, people thought workouts were weird. They ended up working. People thought Pilates was stupid. People thought CrossFit was dumb. Now it's hot. I think that's next.
KFC?
I think this guy's stronger than me. I think he's a better dancer than me. He was like hopping around. He's all like smooth and coordinated. But it's what you said. It's all about being Asian. They do everything weird, but it seems to work. So.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it. I don't go to the gym. Haven't been to the gym in quite a long time. But that doesn't look like something I could do. Like, don't you have to be pretty strong to do what he was doing?
I mean, he was going. He had shoulders going. His core was keeping him straight. He had the legs going for cardio. It seemed like a total body workout.
You're more of a push-up, pull-up guy anyway, Dan.
Push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. The core 3. I have a machine. I've had it since junior high. All right. Yeah, and I used to be ripped, too. See you later. That's the show.
I can't believe this Lupita thing. You're crazy. I wouldn't even look twice at that chick.
You're out of your mind. But you're racist.
I would not even look.
Don't do that. That's what,
I would think that's dude.
I hated that you did that. Like, oh, now it's race. If some white chick walked in here, flat-chested and shaved her head, I'd be like, that's not the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah. And there's plenty of hot black chicks, but that ain't one of them.
What are you, crazy? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, to me, that's what I want to ask you. So we are just like so diametrically opposed on this that I can't even fathom that someone would sit here and argue.
You don't think her face is beautiful?
I didn't call her ugly. That's not the argument.
I didn't ask that. I said you don't think her face is beautiful.
I've said she's beautiful
makeup, first of all.
a lot of times. I said she's a good-looking chick a lot of times. We're not disagreeing there.
You guys just talk directly over each other. Kevin, do you think her face is pretty?
I've never seen her face without makeup. I've only seen her dialed up for movies. And she's like not she doesn't have an ugly face. To put her as the most beautiful girl in the world is literally insane.
But you guys do understand, like, these studies they're not like.
What are you talking about, Dan?
Hold on. John, let me just finish for a second. when like Denzel Washington, everyone always says like he has the most perfect face in the world because it's like perfectly symmetrical. I think that's kind of what they're doing here. Like her looks and everything, like they're perfectly symmetrical, and like that's what the most beautiful woman has.
This is just about the fact that she won.
It's a thing that's done every year. Like Adam Levine won this year. It's just the woman version. It's not scientifically based.
It's just whoever's hot in the streets. She won the Oscar. She's new on the scene. She dressed like very well at the Oscars. That's all it's about.
You think that the most beautiful woman in the world in People magazine was a scientifically based study?
So it was race motivated for people to do it.
I definitely think so too. Yeah, I think they have a new black chick who won the Oscar that no one's ever heard of, who's young, and she's kind of like got a good personality, and she dressed very well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, but she's also beautiful. It's always a trendy pick. It's always like that, but she is beautiful. As far as Dan saying science was involved in it, I know what he's saying. It's like, that's why she is beautiful. She has a symmetrical face. They didn't use science, but I agree. She's a trendy pick. She's in the movie, the Oscars, but she's beautiful.
I mean...
She's good looking, yes. She's beautiful. I'll give you the word even. The most in the world? No.
But you can argue anybody. My point is, you can argue for her just as much as anybody else you're going to put in that slot.
Okay, I mean, you can argue the Red Wings are going to win the series, but the smart pick is the Bruins. There are better arguments. There are easier arguments to make.
But John, your problem with your argument is, with the Dunkin' Donuts thing, you just picked, like, a Pee-wee team to beat the Bruins.
Right. The problem is I exaggerated on Barstool Sports, and that's really coming back to bite me in the ass right now.
I don't exaggerate ever.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I hope the two white guys to the left and right of Dan have no problem being the racist white guys.